from the 31. He's got the snap. Sty steps right, throwing long into the end zone. Perriman up in the air, tumbles. He's got it. Touchdown.
Unbelievable throw, unbelievable catch.
And the Browns have come to play. Pass the word. The Browns have come to play tonight. 1 for 2 on third down. He's got the snap. Mayfield back. Plenty of time. He's looking. He's looking. He's still looking. He rolls right. Throws. And Njoku caught it. 35, 40, 45. First down. Out to the 40. Back to pass. The Browns trying to get a rush. They do on Keenum. He lobs the ball towards the end zone. And it's picked off. The Browns pick it off in the end zone. It's Peppers. Right. A bootleg out to the right. Here's Keenum with Ogba in his face. He throws. It's going to be picked off by T.J. Carey. Ogba hit Keenum when he threw, and the ball hung up in the air, and Carey picked it into the shotgun with the Duke on his left hip. He wants the ball. He's got the ball. He's looking left. He throws. End zone. Touchdown. It's Callaway, and the Browns lead. Formation in the backfield from his own 25 with Chubb the tailback. First down, the give to Chubb, runs left, he's out, 35, he's to the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, down to the 34-yard line. Here comes Chubb. On fourth down, Keenum waits, takes the snap, he bobbles it, stumbles, he got hit, he got sacked! He got sacked! Peppers got him! He got him! Peppers got him! Pour a little pepper on it! The Browns are going to win it! Oh, baby, what a win this one is! It's time to get into victory formation. What a struggle this one's been. Baker Mayfield takes a knee and wind the clock down. 37 seconds left to go. You need not run any more plays. The Browns haven't won here since 1990, but they've won tonight. And the playoff dream stays alive. What a ball game.
Welcome back, Survivors, episode 46, season 3. This is Surviving the Season. I am your host from the Baywater Studios in Tampa, Florida. I'm Adam. Greg's here.
Yo.
What's up?
What's going on?
What's up?
Since we've last talked, the Browns are basically officially out of the playoffs, unless we get a little lucky here. So, when we last left off, we were on that high note of, hey, here comes the playoffs, but we need some special things to happen. So, I mean, there's no reason not to just go out, dominate this week against Cincinnati, come back, see if we can get lucky. We can get one of these both of these teams to lose, and then come back and get a tie. But I've seen people talking about this, and I want to know where you're at. Browns should just lose out and get a better draft pick. How do you feel about that?
Nah. It's time to win. Baker said if there's people not in the locker room that aren't ready to win, then they can go ahead and get out or something to that effect.
Absolutely. These are, in my opinion, this is, you go, you win these out, you go in the off season, confidence is high as ever.
Yeah.
The team puts in all that extra work because they know how close they are. There's a few extra adjustments we need to make to this roster just to, basically the finishing touches on what is going to be a Super Bowl roster in the near future. And I guarantee that, just like the the guy on suit warehouse or whatever, I guarantee it, wherever the fuck that commercial is, it's happening, Browns fans. This team has the makings to be, a championship caliber team. Once Dorsey gets done fine tuning this thing, but you got to win these games. I mean, build this confidence as high as you can. Build the fans. Get these fans tuned up, man, for this going into this offseason, getting ready for next year. I just can't wait. Can't wait for these Super Bowl, these playoff push, the Super Bowl push coming soon.
Dude, they're ready. I was just reading about their defensive DVOA. From Barnwell.
Okay.
They were like 6th overall passing defense while facing the number 2 strength of schedule offensive passing teams.
Who told you that?
Barnwell wrote an article today.
Greg Williams told you that.
Well, he was pointing out that while they're 6th DVOA, it's all against good teams.
Yeah. Well, so they kind of take that into account. They take schedule into account, but that's the way it works. Now, the biggest thing that people were saying was, well, look how easy it's been for the Browns. They've had an easy schedule. That's why they go and win 4 games or 4 out of 5 games or whatever it was that we won, or 4 out of 6. I'm not even sure what's Greg Williams' record? 4-2, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, okay, great. So what? I mean, you got to play the team that's in front of you. It doesn't matter. So maybe that team's not playing their best ball at that moment. So be it. Right. I mean, the Browns are the one thing we talked about before the beginning of the season. Health makes a big determination on where you are this time of year. I was saying if we're a healthy team, this could be a 9-win team, in my opinion. If we're not, we win 6 games, something like that. We win 4 games. I mean, so much depends on health. I mean, we're going to see that this week. We're going up against a Bengals team that has, I mean, they're in the teens with the amount of guys that's on the IR. Some of the names, I mean, important guys on their team. Of course, if they're in a playoff push, maybe these guys don't go to the IR so quickly. But
sure, yeah.
That's where they're at. Their season's over. They're going to put these guys on IR like AJ Green. I don't even know what Andy Dalton, if he ended up breaking his thumb or whatever it was, but IR again. Jake Fisher, Malik Jefferson. I mean, you go down this list. There's big names, Preston Brown on their team, the guys that contributed, Tyler Croft, Carl Lawson, Tyler Eifert. I mean, when that happens, guess what? You don't make the playoffs. And the Browns have been fortunate to be relatively healthy this year. And you see, like, there's key injuries that we had when Joe Schobert goes out, or we're missing Ward. That's a real struggle. It hurts your team. That affects it. But the more depth you get, which we're getting there. We've had more. This is the most depth we've ever had as a Cleveland Browns football team since 1999. No doubt about it. We can absorb some of those injuries. So Dorsey's got to keep building that roster. But when we get in next year, guess what? I mean, if we have a freak injury with Miles, or we have a freak injury with Baker, it's not going to, we need them to be healthy. These are key components to this, the key cogs in this Super Bowl push that we want to make, this playoff push. I know I'm jumping ahead of myself with Super Bowl, but I'm telling you, like, I look at this roster, man, and to me, you have the makings, you have the young pillars there, the support, the guys that are going to be the long-term franchise players are in place. And now we just need to bring in a few extra key veterans here, a couple rookies here, and, key contributors. And this team, man, I mean, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Got to have a good draft season, hit up a couple free agents, hopefully the right mix of, young dudes overagers, as you would call them in hockey. It could be an interesting offseason to see how they're going to go into next year. Yeah.
And we're not in that mode where Sashi was going with guys that are 25 and younger. That made sense. It makes sense a lot just in NFL because it's a young man's sport. NFL football is just that way. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are playing into their 30s. But if you go and you take a shot on a guy that's 30 years old because he fills a need for the next couple of years, you can do that. That's where the Browns are at. You don't do that 2 years ago. That's what we do in this offseason coming up.
Much different offseason than the ones we were dealing with before.
Absolutely. We were almost trying to find diamonds in a rough. We're going to take a shot at a couple of these guys that were first round picks that maybe didn't work out somewhere else. Bring them in. Let's see what they can do. They don't work out. Okay, move on. It's not a big deal. Now it's about what can you add to this team right away, because you can't just look, we don't have room on this roster for guys that are just going to sit on the inactive list every single week. That's why we talk about Chad Thomas being so, making everybody so angry, is because it's not that the guy maybe won't be good one day. Maybe he'll figure it out. I'd say the odds are against him, but this is not, we're not in the mode of, hey, we need to help this guy become what he can. No, we need you to be what you can be right now. We need you to be able to compete and play good day one of walking into this building, because we don't have time. We don't have time to sit here and develop guys,
No, the NFL doesn't give you a lot of time, especially you got the quarterback on a rookie contract. You have your best defensive players all on rookie contracts. build around them, and then let's go. Like you.
That's what we talked about with. That's what we talked about with Baker. Like, why take Baker? Because he's ready to play now.
Yeah.
Why we can win? This roster is good enough to win now. Why would we sit there? We can go Darnold. We knew Darnold wasn't going to be good this year. There was no question about that. We knew Josh Allen wasn't going to be good. It would be good one day, maybe, but do you want to sit there and dick around with that? Do you want to take the sure thing? That's really what I want Dorsey to look at when he's going into this draft this year, is going, all right, we need sure things. We need guys that are ready to contribute now, not guys that are going to contribute three years down.
Yeah. We usually go back and take a look at last week's game. Was there anything in your notes that you wanted to hit that we didn't get a chance to?
Yeah, really, it basically worked out how we talked about it. It was just Baker being off. Yeah. That was the biggest takeaway. Like, Baker just wasn't Baker. There was times where one of the things that he did a number of times, and this is sort of, you don't really want him to tone this back. You know how we always talk about, well, Tyrod would just take that easy check down, and, he's not going to let the ball rip, and Baker he'll wait. He'll take the extra second in the pocket and he'll let it rip downfield. Well, there's a couple times where Baker, instead of taking the easy completion across the middle, a shorter across the middle throw, he's pushing the ball down the field. And do you want to tell your young quarterback not to do that? Really, it's a give or take. Like, if he can hit those, nobody's complaining about it. But then on a game where he's slightly off, you're going, just take the easy one. But then quarterbacks get into the mode of, I'm just always going to take the easy out.
Yeah. Right.
You don't want that.
You got to stay aggressive.
Exactly.
It's a chunk league anyway now. So you got to be able to throw the ball downfield. So you got to take your shots and live with them.
Yeah. So if you look back and you're going to critique where could a Baker done things better, that was a big one. The one interception that he throws before the half to where he's throwing to Landry, he's got single coverage with Duke going up against a linebacker coming out of the backfield. In fact, the linebacker just grabs Duke, basically hugs him. It should have been a penalty. He doesn't let him get out into his pass route. But if he does, like, Baker needs to go, in my mind, if I'm Freddie Kitchens, I'm going, okay, they're playing what was a Tampa 2, basic Tampa 2 coverage, where you want to throw, where the linebacker is going down the middle of the field to take away Landry. Now, that is the actual read. You're supposed to, he made the right read. He threw a bad ball, and Landry doesn't have separation. But an even better idea is going, hey, I got Duke Johnson one-on-one versus a linebacker, which is a win 100% of the time. He's not losing that, where the guy just knows, like, he's screwed here, and I'm just going to grab Duke and wrap him up and not let him get out in his pass route. So that would have been one definitely that I would say, hey, you don't need to be so damn aggressive. We're already in field goal position. Take the yardage that Duke gives you, and Duke's still going to make a guy miss and get good yardage out of that. So it was that kind of thing, though, that Baker missed on a couple of those opportunities, probably 3 or 4 that really stuck out in my, going back and watching.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Another one. So let's sort of from the beginning, though. The Case Keenum touchdown, where he ran out of the pocket and scored. What was it, like a 1 yard or 2 yard run or something? Go back and watch that. Emmanuel Ogbah is basically tackled. It's the worst hold in the history of holds. Ogbah probably makes the play, and when you watch it, the tight end is blocking him, and he just bear hugs him. It's terrible. It's so often that I swear to God, Miles can't get when are we going to get respect? That's the question. When is this team going to get respect? Because I feel like we get no respect. We're the Rodney Dangerfields of the NFL. It's pitiful. But
Fucking
he's
officials.
held there. I thought that was terrible. The other thing, another takeaway was we ran an awful lot into what they had loaded boxes. Like, they had a lot of guys. We ran from big sets, three tight ends, and they really bunched it up almost in, like, they came out in 1 first down and 10, and we're in like a goal line look. And we just run it right up the middle. Now, I don't know what Freddie saw. Maybe he thought that they could exploit it from the Denver defense. Maybe he thought, hey, this team is not stout enough right up front. We knew looking from the DVOA and looking back at the Denver defense before the game, that they had a strong defense. They're really good against the pass. They're still good. They're at least average against the run. Maybe Freddie thought that was something that he was going to be able to take advantage of, but I thought I don't like that when you're running into constant loaded boxes. I think you need to take advantage of the numbers. And if you do want to run that often on first down like they did, try spreading it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not making it so it's not so crowded there.
Is he trying to set something up, later in the game? He's trying to use it as misdirect?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'm not inside Freddie Kitchens' head. I just thought it was I thought they really crowded the box a lot, and the Browns, instead of like audibling out of those and doing something different, they just said, okay, we're going to go with this. Like maybe they maybe just thought they were better up front. It could have been like, we're going to win this one regardless.
Yeah.
So where Baker was fumbled, the fumble sack, that was Joel Bitonio that got absolutely annihilated. He just completely, he's been really good. We'll talk about this here in a minute, but he is a Pro Bowl selection, and he got just absolutely whiffed on his block there. So I always like to look to see who that was, but that one was on Bitonio. The Nick Chubb drop pass on the slant. I mean, I like the fact that they think they can throw the Nick Chubb, but again, I just think should be Duke Johnson territory every time. If you're splitting them out, and maybe in Freddie's mind, he's thinking if I got Duke in there, they're going to think I'm passing. So maybe but we ended up splitting everybody out. It was we were in 11 personnel, which is one tight end, one running back, and then they went to an empty backfield. So I would rather that they do that with Duke than Chubb, but that I guess that's nitpicky.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yeah, I can't hardly remember any of these plays without.
Do you remember the Nick Chubb drop?
Yeah, on the slant.
It might have been the 72 beers that you drank for the game.
Without looking at my notes, I'm having a hard time. It feels like that game was ages ago.
Yeah, because it was all the way back on Saturday.
Yeah, it seems so long ago.
So Landry, do you remember this one? Landry makes a really nice contested catch in the second half on like a comeback route.
Yeah,
we were lucky that Baker didn't throw a pick there. There was no respect given to Landry. If there's any play you can go and look up in the all 22. I think that was in the third quarter. I wish I would have written it down. But the cornerback was Tremaine Brock. And just literally, like, he ran Jarvis's route for him, and he missed the pick by inches, and he was so angry at himself. Now, Jarvis makes an excellent catch on that ball. So he somehow hauled it in. So kudos to Landry for that. But, that's the problems you have with Landry on the outside trying to run these for him to run a go route, like nobody's falling for that. Like, good luck. Right. Try to run your go route, and I'll play this hitch here, or I'll play this comeback route instead. So that was basically it, though. That I had for the last game of little things to go back and check.
Okay.
Trying to think of who the other sack. What was the other sack that we gave up? I can't remember what that one was, how that happened, but I meant to look that up, and now I can't remember. I'm sorry. So I blew that one.
Blew it. So Josh Gordon is in the news today.
Oh, yeah.
He
Tough
is
times.
Stepping away from football. We'll focus on mental health. I think we heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the big NFL guys came down and said that he's going to be suspended and for violating the substance abuse program. So he might be done. This might be the end for Mr. Gordon.
Until next time, right? Hey, I feel bad for the guy that we're constantly here, but are you even a little surprised? Because I am not.
No, not at all.
It's always just a matter of time for Mr. Gordon. That's what it felt like. If we are going to keep him here, you have to treat him as a just bonus that he's going to play for you on any given Sunday. To me, I like the move that they moved on from him. You can't rely on unreliable guys. Bring somebody in here that is 100% committed. That's what this team needs. So I feel bad for Josh Gordon, the person, but I almost feel like, hey, he needs to quit worrying about football at this point and just go and worry about life.
Yeah.
It's not doing him any good.
All right. So there's Josh.
You want to hit up these Pro Bowlers?
Yeah.
Did you see the list yet? Is the question.
Yeah, I saw the list, Greg.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Were you surprised at any of the names?
Does anyone care about the Pro Bowl?
No. But I mean, it is accolades, right? I mean, your people are. So I wish I would have been able to ask you this before it came out, because I would have asked you, hey, who do you think would have been Pro Bowlers this year on the Browns? And now that the list came out, are you surprised by any of the names? And then at the same time,
I'm surprised.
Do you think anybody got snubbed?
Yeah, there's all kinds of dumb names on the list.
Really?
So how do they do Pro Bowl? Is this just the hashtag or the retweets and shit? Is it just a fan vote?
I thought that the peers vote also, but I don't know, dude. Like, it doesn't really matter. If it's just the fan vote, then it really is terrible. But I thought there was more to it than that.
I don't know how.
And I'm just talking about the Browns, from the Browns team. Now, obviously, there's quite a few. I mean, Darius Leonard, the kid from that was a big one from Indianapolis, who people brought up his stats and compared him to the dude from the Ravens, and are like, this isn't even comparable. Like, how can this guy go and this guy doesn't? And, so there was a number of those. Chris Jones from Kansas City got left off.
All right. The coaches, the players, and the fans, and everybody gets 1/3 of the vote.
Okay. So that, yeah.
All right.
That makes sense. So with the Browns, though.
So
because
Garrett and Ward are the picks, right?
Yeah, well, and then we have the Batonio
backup
and Zeitler,
Chubb, Colquitt, Landry, Mayfield, and Zeitler.
Okay, yeah. So, but they're just the other ones are just alternates.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the guards are 100%. Should have been on this list. Garrett should have been on the list. Ward absolutely could be. He's had a fantastic season. Mayfield getting on there is really great. I mean, is Mayfield the top 3 quarterback in the AFC right now? Is that how bad the AFC? And I love Mayfield. I'm just saying, like, he's a rookie. So You're telling me there's not 3 better quarterbacks in the AFC? That's surprising to me. I thought that it seems like Randall should be on this list to me. I thought Demarius Randall had the second best. Where's he at? I mean, Garrett's the best on defense right now, but Randall's right there. I mean, he's had just as good a season as Ward has, just as good a season as Ogunjobi's had. He's right there. Yeah. And for him to get left off, I thought that's not good. I think really without Randall this year, our defense looks a lot different. And then the other one would be Schobert. I mean, we saw what it's like not having Schobert for 4 games.
Yeah. If you go by PFF numbers, I think Peppers is like top 5 in the league.
Yeah. And I can see him not being left off. I mean, I thought he's been playing his best football as of late. Derwin James made it over him. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, Derwin's on that list too. PFF top 5 safeties. But again, this is, I don't know.
And Eric Weddle. I mean, Jamal Adams. Yeah, he's right there. I mean, Jabril Peppers is very close to making the Pro Bowl. I mean, let's be honest. I just think it's crazy, though. I mean, if you're talking about safeties, at least for us, I mean, it's Demarius Randall first, and to me, like he's been fantastic. Without him, the things that he was able to do, and look, a lot of people just don't know this. They look, they go, okay, well, they probably don't even know he's playing safety. But the fact that he goes from playing free safety to playing corner when we're in a pinch, and he can just do anything, the flexibility he gives you, I just feel like he earned a spot in that, in my opinion, as one of the best players in the league. And I would say the same thing for for Schobert. I mean, who gets in CJ Mosley, who they showed the Darius Leonard. I saw the Darius Leonard stats compared to CJ Mosley, and they were like doubled what CJ Mosley had. And then Benardrick McKinney for Houston, who's had a good season. Now, if Schobert doesn't miss time, he's probably going to make the Pro Bowl, I would think. And then the other one,
because he missed a little time, sure.
Yeah, I would think. And then the other one would be Ogunjobi. I mean, Ogunjobi would be very close to making this list. I mean, he's got bigger names here: Geno Atkins, Jarrell Casey, and Cam Hayward. So that's tough to push your way past those guys. But he keeps up the sacks. I mean, what's he at this year? Has he got like 7-8 sacks? That's a pretty damn good season.
Yeah, I was just looking up the difference between Pro Bowl and All Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a different thing. All Pro.
Sure, All Pro. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
By the media.
Yeah, that's that. Did you hear Myles Garrett has 4 steps in he brought this up in his press conference yesterday, or it might have been 2 days ago. First step was Pro Bowl. He made it. Second step is All Pro. Then is Defensive Player of the Year, and then is Super Bowl champs. Now, I think number 4 should be number 1, and then the rest fall in line. But I get it. He wasn't saying they had to go 1 through 4. He's just saying these are his goals, which I absolutely love. I mean, straight up stud. The kid, did you see the interview? He's not wearing a shirt for some reason.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
Do whatever you like. Nobody's questioning him.
Nobody's going to tell him no.
Yeah. One of the players actually walks by during the interview and goes, "Oh, geez, Myles, put a shirt on."
Oh, that's funny.
So let's go. Okay, and let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Now, I've talked about it on here when we're talking about snaps per pressure, how good our interior has been. I mean, really, Treader could be on this list as a Pro Bowler. I don't know. You know, let's see who got put in over him. Pouncey. Okay, the Pouncey brothers. And I don't know how they did. I don't get a chance to watch all these guys' games. So, I mean, good for them. But J.C. Treader's had a very fine season for the Browns this year.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the guards, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Bitonio and Zeitler have both been like 2 of the best.
Yeah. Okay. But there's good names on here. David DeCastro for the Steelers, good every single year. Marshall Yanda, good every single year. And Quentin Nelson being the rookie. If you go look at Pro Football Focus, I think he's only in the 60s.
Yeah.
But
Probably.
He's got a ton of hype. I mean, that's how they pick these things. When it comes to guards and it comes to centers, it's all about hype.
Yeah.
That's it, man. So unless the Browns fans go out there and we just create massive amounts of hype, which we try, I mean, Peyton Hillis was on the cover of Madden, for fuck's sake.
That's right. Oh, my God. I forgot.
So we try our damnedest to do that.
That's funny.
It's tough to get these guys off that list.
Yeah.
Now, we can't argue for anybody for tackle. Now, let's be honest here. You're telling me Jarvis Landry makes the Pro Bowl?
I guess so.
All right.
What is he, the third alternate or something? So how many people does that mean is in front of him?
Is Juju Smith-Schuster on there?
No, he didn't make it.
Okay, if you had a choice.
It's not even a discussion.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Hey, all right. But hey, congratulations, Jarvis.
Yeah, that's good.
Congratulations. And then when we're talking about quarterback, who was the quarterbacks? Why does my thing not have the quarterbacks on it?
Brady.
Patrick Mahomes, no question. Phillip Rivers have had a really good year, and Tom Brady is just
right.
Yeah, right. I mean, you just
and then Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield.
Damn.
That's where we're at, huh? What about Deshaun Watson? He's had a good season.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Cody
But
Kessler?
we'll take it, man.
No?
So I thought, there was, I think the very biggest one to me is Randall not being on that list. I just felt like he kind of got hosed. If you're going to talk about one Brown that deserved to be in this ridiculous game that nobody gives a shit about.
That nobody's going to play in anyway.
Or watch, for that matter.
Yeah, true.
Your boy Colquitt is on there, so I know that you got excited about that.
I already texted him. Congrats. We talk all the time.
Probably. He's just happy anybody would acknowledge him.
All right. Preview?
Yes.
Preview, let's do it. Bengals coming to Cleveland. Bengals are 6-8 against the 6-7-1 Cleveland Browns, 1 p.m. on Sunday. Hughes' quiet return. No questions, please.
I've already said what I need to say. Now I'm going to go out there. We're going to prove what we are. What's the spread?
Right now, ESPN is showing 9. This game opened at 7.
What?
I'm going to run it down right now. That's crazy to me, if that much money's coming on.
9 points? That's a lot of points, man. Now, I mean, we went to Cincinnati, won 35-20 last time, which is only a couple weeks ago. And they had, Andy Dalton's out, AJ Green's out. They're playing Jeff Driscoll, who, I mean, they won last week, but he was terrible in that game. If you look at it from a stat, he was 14 of 33 for 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The only thing, I almost feel like we need to have our same game plan defensively going in to this week like we did against the Denver Broncos, because we really played the run really well last week, I thought, against Denver. I mean, that we crowded the box just the same way they did. And it's going to come down to stopping Joe Mixon. So last week he had 27 carries, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If you go back to the week that we played them, he had 89 yards on 14 carries, so that's a 6.4 average. He was good there, and then he also caught 7 passes for 66 yards. So that's the number one key for me, I would say.
Yeah, I watched some of that game. They're not going to throw the ball downfield on you. They ran a lot of play action to try to get the ball downfield, and they just can't do it. And now Tyler Boyd's done.
Boyd's out this week?
I think he's likely done for the season. MCL sprain in his right knee.
Oh, my goodness.
Why would they put him out there?
I have no idea. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not looking at the injury report. I'm looking at a different injury list, but they have everybody hurt. And then Tyler Boyd's been good for them. He's over 1,000 yards. And I would put him on the shelf if I was them. So I don't know how they're going to get the ball down the field.
They're
if
not.
The Browns
John Ross
queue up against Mixon. Go ahead, throw the ball down the field on us. Try it.
Yeah, that's 100% what I would be doing. I mean, Cody Core, John Ross, CJ.
It's not really in Greg Williams' blood, though, to let teams try to throw the ball against you.
Oh, he's
much like he'll blitz, but he does like to drop.
But here's the thing. It's not Greg Williams calling this defense. That's the one thing I've noticed, man. Like they are just not as aggressive when Greg Williams isn't calling that defense, when his son is. I don't know. What's his son's name? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Junior. So when Junior's out there calling plays, they play a lot more like off coverage. They're not blitzing all the time, a lot more 4-man rush. And they still do. I mean, they dialed up, heck, that the second to last play, what was it? 3rd down and 10, we brought the house.
Yeah.
So they still do it, but I don't think it just seems like they haven't been nearly as aggressive. Maybe they're just thinking, hey, we can get more pressure out of our front four than before. But yeah, that's the key to me. I mean, when I look at that offense and Jeff Driscoll, he played all right when we played him last time, though.
That's right. Yeah, he did. He came in and sort of brought him back a little bit.
Yeah. But now that we've had time to go back and watch film, see what confuses him, that was the other thing that I meant to bring up in the film review part of the Denver game. What Denver did a lot of times, so let's say you're running like two slants. Let's say your guys are on the right side of the field. You're running double slants with your the slot guy and the the outside receiver. They're sort of baiting. They're acting like they'll take the inside guy and then go into the outside guy. So Denver was doing that a number of times where they're trying to bait him, Baker, into making a quick decision, throwing to that outside receiver, and they're going to try to intercept it. And there was 2 times where they really tried to do it, and Baker threw it. One got batted.
Yeah, that one was going to get picked too.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And if he throws it to the inside, I think that was before half, right? I think that one was, but I can't, it doesn't matter. But regardless, that is what Denver was looking at. Like we're going to try to bait Baker in, and Baker threw an interception on that earlier in the season. I can't remember what game. So now that you get to go back, you watch this film on Jeff Driscoll, because when we faced him last time, they don't know what his tendencies are. He's barely even played. Now you got to get a chance.
Got some film on him.
See some film and go, okay, what can we do to stop them? And maybe even the Raiders held them to 14 of 33. So if the Raiders can do that.
Yeah, the Raiders just couldn't stop Mixon.
Yeah, and not only that, they must have, did they turn the ball over a bit, or the special teams? I don't know. I mean, how did the Bengals put up 30 points? Mixon, of course.
Yeah, Mixon had a late score. They had 3 touchdowns. I think 2 from Mixon and 1 from Boyd.
Yeah, and so if you recall, we got out to that 28-7 lead, and then it was basically over the game was basically over at that point. So I'd like to see the Browns sort of get another big lead, put it away, not have to worry about this one. We're a much better team in every aspect. I don't think there's one aspect that you can look at with Cincinnati football team right now with all the injuries they have and say they're as good as the Browns. I mean, we're better in every single part of football here. So
yeah, their linebackers are pretty shitty too. I think Burfict's out with a concussion. I don't know if he's cleared to practice yet either.
I actually have that here. He was limited to yesterday, so he was limited yesterday. So that I would say he would be back then. Mixon was. Cordy Glenn was also limited. So he must, if he was limited in practice, he's got to be cleared, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they do that with concussion protocol.
Yeah, but nine points is a lot. That's
a lot of points.
That is interesting. If you look back, one of the other things that the Browns did last time, we didn't give up a sack. So hopefully our line plays well again. It's a little bit easier matchup this week than it was last week for the Browns. So I would expect that as well. Baker, the last game against the Bengals, Baker was 19 of 26, 258 and 4 touchdowns. And remember, we only threw, I think he had 50 yards in the second half passing in that one because the game was basically out of reach. David Njoku, 5 catches, 63 yards and a touchdown. So he was the main benefactor of that first half, and Callaway had 4 catches, 62 and a touchdown.
What do you think about Hugh not having anything to say?
Well, what more could he say at this point?
Yeah.
He must know. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Hugh has no idea that what he did was like dumb, like a bad idea to go on a media tour right after getting fired. In his head, he thinks like, hey, no, why would anybody care? Who cares if I go and get another job with a
division rival
in the middle of the season? Why would they care? Why would the guys that I just asked to bleed for me and give it their all, give a shit? Well, come on, man.
Yeah.
he's hueless, he's hueless. Did you see your Myles Garrett? Somebody asked him, he said, well, do you think players still get up for this game? And he's like, oh yeah, I know a lot of the guys will still be getting up for this one. And he's like, well, how do you think the Bengals players will come off of it after Baker went and called Hugh fake? And he goes, he did? Oh, I didn't hear that. He was surprised. He couldn't believe it. Like, oh damn. I had no idea. But yeah, so I think a lot of the Browns players are definitely, they take that to heart. They're not happy that Hugh still did that. So we'll see. I wonder if the chippiness is going to be there, because remember that game was super chippy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys getting into fisticuffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Would this be one of the biggest letdown losses of the year? Even though the season's basically done, this one would really suck if they lost.
Oh, for sure. Like this is one that I just want them to blow them away. I mean, look, the Bengals. Okay, I went through and listed like half of the guys on IR, and I think if they're healthy, they're in a different spot. I don't think the Bengals are like a Super Bowl team, but I mean they're a capable team. They've been decent. They're sort of that kind of team that's stuck in that NFL purgatory. They lose out. What are they doing with their coaching? Is everybody getting fired? And if everybody gets fired, does Hugh have an actual opportunity to become head coach there? Could you imagine?
I don't know how they could sell that. How ownership can sell that to the fans down there after 20 years of 8-8?
They sell Andy Dalton every single year.
Yeah,
every year they sell you Andy Dalton. You keep showing up.
It's such a weird organization because they've been okay. So I guess you're like, well, they're trying. They're putting a product on the field. They're not just tanking or whatever. But
yes,
that seems so boring to me. I would hate to sit here and just cover 8-8 every year.
Oh.
We just know we're 8-8. Okay, here we go again.
It's what we talked about. That's why we said, look, we're going to suffer for 2 years. You're going to have to suffer. Sashi Brown's idea of a total rebuild is the absolute 100% right thing to do because we have no foundational players. What did he do? He came in, he got rid of all the excess, stripped it down to the bare bones. A lot of people weren't happy about, we could have had Travis Benjamin. We could have had, what's his name? What's the other little guy's name? Taylor Gabriel. We could have had him. Yeah. We could have had this guy. Could have had that guy. Could have had Paul Kruger. How can we let Paul Kruger go? How do you ever let Paul Kruger go? And then so we strip it down. We get our ass kicked a lot. And we get a ton of draft picks. And we start picking foundational pieces. And then guess what? They get a little bit better. And you got more because you got all these extra draft picks. And then you get more. And then you got all this extra loot because you cut every single waste of space that was on your team. But could have had Joe Hayden. What? You just let a good cornerback go. What is Joe Hayden doing for us? Nothing. He's not doing anything. He's not doing fine. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with Joe Hayden, but he's not worth $10 million a year like we were paying him. So you cut bait. Let him go. And then we got all this money to spend. We can go out. People are going to want to play here now. You got Baker Mayfield. You got Myles Garrett. I don't know who the coach is going to be, but it doesn't matter at this point. You can almost sell them just the players that are here, the foundational pieces that you have now. This is how you create a winning organization. And it's happened. Like, I'm sorry that you had only won one game in 2 years. Oh, well, now you're reaping the benefits of that. Your suffering has paid off. It's okay. Over. Guess what? When you go and you're working out in the gym, you go, oh, this is going to be really heavy and it's going to kind of suck, but you still do it because afterwards you get benefit from it. That's what just happened. You sucked. Now good things are going to happen. The Bengals go, we can't suck too much. We can't. We got to just do enough to get us over the hump. Just enough. By. And then that's where they're stuck in NFL purgatory where we used to be. That used to be us. We were the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe not that good, but we were right around the Cincinnati Bengals. We were 6-10. Well, we might get 7 next year. We might get 6 or 8. No, I want to win 14 games.
Yeah.
I want to win, 13. I mean, that's the kind of team that we're going to have coming up here, man. I'm telling you, like it's happening right in front of our eyes, and so many people just still do not recognize that. They're just like, I don't know, man. I just don't know if they have the team. I don't know if Myles Garrett has it.
Yeah, we were sitting here in week 14, like, hey, we got a chance to win the division still. And we have a bunch of throwaway games at the beginning of the season. We're damn near favorites to take the division next year. And it's not even like sneaky favorites.
And Ben Roethlisberger is how old? I mean,
right.
In the mid-30s.
Flacco's gone in Baltimore. Dalton is 8-8.
Dalton is Dalton. I mean, we have the keys to this division, right? It's in our hands. It's in Baker Mayfield's hands.
It's not even going to be crazy for people to go, the Browns are going to win the North next year.
Nope.
They might be favored to win the North next year.
No, nobody is going to, people will not be, no, you know what? There'll be those people on those morning NFL channel things that are going, hey, I can't believe we're saying it, but I'm picking the Cleveland Browns. Can you believe I said it? Do you remember the jersey with 75 fucking quarterback names on it? Doesn't matter because you only need one. It says Baker Mayfield. I'm going to pick them right here.
They're my sleeper, my big sleeper.
Yeah, they're going to act like it's a sleeper pick. And we've been telling you for 3 fucking years right here. We've been saying it like you just got to wait. It's not going to happen in year 1. It's not going to happen in year 2. Year 3 is the road to redemption. Year 4, we're there, baby. It's happening. Football
we need a new
heaven.
hashtag for next year.
Oh, we'll have one coming.
Let's put in our. Do we have to do a prediction still?
Oh yeah. We might as well. Might as well keep this nonsense going 1 more week. 2 more weeks we have. That's right.
Weeks.
God, this season flew. Did this season fly by?
Flew by.
It flew by. I can't believe it's almost over. I'm sad. 17 weeks. Just boom. Man, what are we going to do? What are we going to do all frickin' winter?
Talk about the draft, but at least we're not talking about drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The Mayfield, Darnold, Rosen, Allen discussions are over. They're over. God, those were so terrible. We did it for 4 months, too. For 4 months straight. That's all anyone talked about. We can talk about other shit this year.
Yeah. Like now it's going to be arguments about what position's more important. This position that doesn't really matter or that position that doesn't matter. Do you want a defensive tackle or a wide receiver? Yeah. Which one is it? It doesn't fucking matter at this point.
Right, just pick the best dude. This is like where we could go. Player. Yeah, we could literally go like just take the best player. Mm-hmm. We've got a shot here. So I'm going to say the Bengals come in and shock the Browns.
Oh, my 50. God.
No, I'm just kidding.
And score 4 points on 2 safeties.
It's going to be a blowout. Browns are going to win this one pretty handily. I'm going to give you a halftime score that I think it'll be 21-0 at half.
Okay.
And then we're just going to kind of cruise through the third and fourth. It's never going to get close, but I bet you the Browns will have a tough time to cover 9 points. But it's not going to be a close game.
9 points is really surprising. But yeah, we're going to crush them 56-0.
That's cool. I like it.
Hugh's in charge of assisting the defense. I don't know. Wait, does that make sense? In charge of assisting the defense.
Yeah, whatever he does.
Therefore, they get blown out. Yeah. I say 2, and then we award, after the game, we award multiple footballs to Hugh Jackson's the corpse.
Christ. Okay. Do we have anything else? We can get out of here.
Nah, I think that's about it.
Awesome. This is live on Twitch, everybody. Twitch.tv/STS podcasts. You can join us after the game on Sunday. We will be on directly after the game, live, which is always fun.
That's right.
Twitter.
Then Twitter, you can hit us up there at STS Podcast, and our email is
survivingtheseason@gmail.com. Patreon.com/STS Podcast if you want to support the show. I think that's it.
Rate up the show.
Yeah, rate us up.
How about that?
Share it with your friends. The season's almost over. We'll be getting into draft, free agency, a lot of shit to talk about coming up soon.
Yes, sir.
Hashtag Road to Redemption. Greg, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.